Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Different Side of the Inside. I'm Deborah, and I'm here with my nephew, Lonnie, and we're going to continue our conversation. Our last segment, we talked about prison reform, which we know that don't exist. We talked about prison rehabilitation. We know that doesn't exist. The United States prison system, justice system, is corrupt, no matter what state you're in. So we're going to continue our conversation, but we're gonna start by talking about the resentencing and some of the things that happened during trial, because this is our goal to try to get them out, a resentencing or a total just release. Lonnie, you have anything to say before we get started?
I do. And I just basically want to say thank you to everybody that's been listening and sharing this podcast, because our goal is to capture the attention of people that has a professional eye. And I also want to point out that a lot of the things that we talk about has been researched by myself, by my auntie Deborah, by my sister, my nephew, and his wife. So we're not just speaking in terms of our opinion or theories. We're speaking on facts, and of course, we want our audience to know that we're not just speaking opinions and stuff like that. So, as time goes on, hopefully it helps you develop your own perception of what this podcast intended to be. So, all in all, I want to thank everybody for listening.
All righty. Okay, first we want to talk about the PC 667 rule of sentencing.
Right.
And I'm going to let Lonnie explain it because he knows more about it than I do, and he can explain it very well. So, Lonnie, tell us about the 667 ruling.
Well, the 667 law is a sentencing law, and it's one of the most flawed sentencing laws in this country. And there are loopholes that allow the district attorney and the judge to have discretion over what sentence they can impose on defendants. And in layman's terms, the way that this sentencing law is constructed is to put defendants at a disadvantage when it comes to sentencing them to state prison. And particularly myself, my brother, and my cousin's case, the way that we were sentenced was illegal because 667 says the only way that you can be sentenced under this law is you have to be a habitual criminal, and you have to have imposed your will on one location on multiple occasions. And this was one occasion at one location, and for some reason, somehow, they were able to sentence us, upon these guidelines, within these guidelines. And of course, this is the reason that we look these things up and look at them line by line, before we put these things on podcast, because we don't want to be lying to the audience. But overall, the sentencing law, should really be taken off the books, unless you're an habitual criminal, and that's not what's going on in this case. And just like my husband was talking about, with the Eighth Amendment rule is it guaranteed by the United States that there will never be a U.S. citizen that has cruel and unusual punishment inflicted upon them, including, people in state prison that have been duly convicted of.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And this sentence is the epitome of what goes against that guarantee. And it's cruel and unusual, and it shouldn't have happened. And it's unfortunate that they have taken us 29 years to figure these things out, but better late than never. And there are a lot of groups on the streets that have put forth the same effort into eradicating these biased laws against black and brown people around America. So people that has been in this experience directly, are sitting in the laws that they argue to all these assemblymen and senators and sometimes even the White House. So, he's just a part of that collective body of the people that's really, really out there on the streets squabbling with us, to get proper sentencing. That's not to say that people are not guilty of crimes, but it is to say give people the proper sentencing. Make the sentence fit the crime. And that didn't happen in this case.
All right. And we know that the prison industry is a big business in the United States. There's a lot of money that comes into those systems. And it's the only place where slavery is really still legal. So we know the corruption is, if you look for, trace the money, find out where the money is gone, you'll find the corruption. Okay, and another thing I wanted to bring out and just make the statement, this crime did not involve anyone losing their life. This was not a murder. And for them to receive this kind of sentencing over 200 years, that is locking you up, throwing away the key, like I've said before. And so we want to move on from there, kind of fast forward back into the prison and a lot of the things that happens once you get into the prisons. Lonnie, we had a conversation a while back, and you were telling me about how much time you spent in the hole and what is known as the hole. So I want you to, tell us a little bit about that experience, how long you were in there, and how it affected your life afterwards.
Right.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I do want to get into that in detail. But before that, I just want to piggyback a little bit more on what you were talking about to help the audience understand, that people that have duly been convicted of crimes are considered slaves in this country according to the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution. And of course, it's at the bottom of this amendment as a footnote. But the reality of the matter is, just like my aunt said, slavery is still legal in this country. And it shouldn't be. And there's plenty of people on the streets that's equally fighting to get this component from the Constitution removed. But if people that's listening don't know, it actually is still legal as long as you've been convicted of a crime. But to go back to your question, the longest I've ever spent in administrative segregation is the clinical term for it, but in layman's terms, people call it the hole. I spent 27 months, and at one point I was in the hole basically 5 out of 7 years, and it's one of the loneliest places that you'll ever be. And even back then, when I was doing the whole time, it wasn't a lot of access to phones, it wasn't a lot of access to programs, educational programs, or anything like that. So you basically were just sitting back there waiting for people to investigate what you were back there for, whatever you were charged with, and they would sentence you to what they call a shoe time, SHU, a segregated housing unit shoe time, and they keep you away from the general population and everyone else. So you basically back there yourself. And the more and more you're back there, the more and more they raise heavy on your mental health. And you basically have to find toughness to get through those conditions, because you have certain people that come by. You have a psychiatrist, a psychiatrist that comes by and asks you, "Are you okay?" And basically, if you say yes, then they move on. So there's not really comprehensive mental health evaluation that's going on within these hell holes. because they ask you one question and they keep doing it. They give you puzzles and stuff like that. But they do security checks to make sure that you haven't harmed yourself or anything like that every 30 minutes. And overall, it can have a negative effect on people's emotions, mental health, depression-like symptoms, this oversleeping, overthinking, and it's sometimes it's not good. And I've seen people have episodes where they really go crazy and scream all night and yell all night, and a lot of those pleas for help goes unanswered.
Right, I can imagine. So tell me about what were some of the things that you did because that's a long time. So tell me what some of the things you did to kind of make it through those periods.
I think the number one thing that
and speak up just a little bit because your voice is kind of fading out.
Okay. I think the number one thing that I did to maintain my own healthy mental health is working out. Because, of course, your mind is a muscle just as much as your biceps. And if you don't work out your mind, chances are it's going to get fat, it's going to be obese, and it's going to be underused. So the only way that you can surely maintain your own productive mental health is to work out, to study on a regular basis, and just basically, it's that innate toughness, that toughness that comes from within, the experience that you've gone through throughout your life, not just in prison, but throughout your life, that kind of enables you to go through what you're going through. And of course, there are situations throughout your life that you're going to go through that's tougher than administrative segregation. So it kind of assists you in preparation of going through those kind of things.
Okay, so how was your mental health? I know you're
have
not,
60 seconds
how was your
remaining.
mental health while you were going through those situations? Because we talked about this before. There's a standard that society has when it comes to mental health, but there's another kind of standard that's in the prison. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Right. Okay. The phone will hang up, so I'm going to call back and we're going to pick up on this.
Okay.
All right.
We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Okay, you can continue, Lonnie.
Sorry for the interruption, but the answer what my auntie asked me last was the answer is my mental health was basically in spurts. It would be good at times, it would be good at times and bad at other times. And the bad times, of course, the company that you have is depression. The company that you have is loneliness. The company that you have is like socializing with other people. And, the things that make society so social, is, people being able to talk to one another. And there was a recent study that came out in society that says that the Surgeon General, was saying that loneliness has become an epidemic in America. And of course, we are citizens of this country that's incarcerated. But I don't know if the study reached to the incarcerated people, but what I will say is it should. And, loneliness is one of those things. It's not just, loneliness from, the opposite sex. And, wanting to do so good things from the opposite sex and your girlfriend and your wife and stuff like that. But it's also, loneliness is not being able to talk to people and not being able to relate to other people. We have emotions that we're born.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And of course, if we go into those emotions and not being able to tap into those emotions, then of course the emotions become useless. And if those emotions become useless, then a lot of people mentalities in the way.